Hello and welcome to Wellbeing. I'm Oliver Croft. This year, the Wellbeing podcast celebrates 20 years of voices, stories and insights to the world of human wellbeing in many different professions. Today on the show, we'll be looking at diets, dietitians and what they do for the wellbeing of their community and those that need them. To explore this in a more detailed and passionate view, we'll be speaking with the founder and senior dietitian at Arubah Health, Beth Belford. Beth is dedicated to helping clients make sustainable changes by using a non-diet approach. Beth has a wealth of experience across the field of nutrition and dietetics, including informed use of Cognitive Behaviour Therapy-Enhanced, Dialectical Behaviour Therapy, and family-based therapy for eating disorders. Beth, you're clearly very experienced at what you do, and I think we're about to learn a lot about dietitians and the effect on the community. It's a pleasure to have you join me today on Wellbeing.
Thank you for having me, Oliver. Appreciate it.
So, Beth, you actually founded Arubah Health. What has that journey been like over the last couple of years?
Yeah, so I started Arubah Health while I was actually studying at the University of Newcastle, doing my undergraduate degree in dietetics. I started that because I was being a personal trainer at the time, and then I went into private practice once I finished university. So I did that because I had a passion of building connections with people and helping people on that, like a long journey of recovery in their nutrition space.
Okay, so it started when you were at university?
Yes, it did, yeah, in 2011.
That's amazing. So how has it evolved over all those years?
Well, I guess starting as a personal trainer, doing that sort of fitness side of things, don't do that anymore, but I was out on my own, basically straight out of university, which was very scary as a new graduate, and I now have a number of dietitians working for me. So it's kind of grew from just me to a few of us now. So it's quite changed, I suppose.
Congratulations, Beth. That's great. I am keen to know, though, in simple terms, what is a dietitian?
So in private practice, we manage a lot of chronic disease. So, from diabetes, heart disease, weight management, to more complex cases like eating disorders, malnutrition, fussy eaters, helping people improve their nutritional intake that way.
Beth, I found this stat quite interesting, and it is that 35 to 40% of the average Australian's daily energy intake comes from junk foods, foods that are high in fat, high in sugar and salt, but are very low in nutrients. Why is professional guidance on diet more important than ever in 2025?
In terms of the nutritional intake or guidance from a health professional, I think it's really important to get that information from someone who I guess has the knowledge and understanding around not only nutrition but the entire, like a holistic view of things versus, I guess, fad dieting and things like that. So nutrition and dietitians, I think, is really important so that we can move away from giving people misinformation or getting misinformation that is not going to work. We know that the diet industry is over $30 billion industry worldwide, and so I guess kind of going up against that is a bit difficult. We kind of take it a different angle, and we are hopefully being able to provide the proper guidance to people so that they aren't misled.
Do you find with the rise of social media in the modern era, does that sort of affect dieting a bit more?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, a lot of people may have been spending, years of their life, even, I see people right up into their late lives where they've been following diets and trends and things like that, and we sort of see that quite a bit now, I guess, with the rise of social media. We have a lot of people giving advice. They don't need to necessarily be qualified or anything. And that can definitely impact a person's decision to choose a diet or eat particular types of foods or not eat whole food groups, things like that. So absolutely, I think social media plays a huge role in that for both, adolescents and, right up until older adulthood.
Beth, I'm curious to know, how can dietitians work alongside doctors, psychologists and other health experts of the community?
We work alongside them a lot. That's pretty much what I do. I love working with my colleagues in other practices. I think it means that you are providing the person with a really a good like network, I suppose, of the health professionals. We kind of understand them a lot more, or we provide evidence, like we provide the information that they need to maybe follow up with the doctor about if they haven't been able to, link these particular issues back to their food. So for like gut health issues and things like that. Psychologists, we work every day. I'm pretty much working with psychologists. So like nutrition is very much blended with psychology a lot. People either emotionally eat or emotionally don't eat. We do a lot of that behaviour type therapy, and it really works in very well with psychology. Yeah.
With dietitians being a massive part of social media, what are some preconceived ideas that come out about dietitians that aren't necessarily true?
That we don't eat chips and chocolate and lollies and that we don't have Coke and things like that. That is definitely anytime I'm eating out, it kind of gives me anxiety because people are like watching me, oh my goodness, you're eating a burger. So, we are normal people and definitely love a good burger and chips and lollies. And if you know me, you know that is very much true.
And so you think that turns people off coming to dietitians?
I think people are really scared to see a dietitian. My clinic is purposely set up so we've got a fish tank in there because people often walk in really, really quite anxious and nervous to talk about something that is so important to them. They've had such maybe a long-term devastating relationship with food that, they're about to go and, spill everything over to somebody who they don't really know and who may be, someone who, they may just be feeling really vulnerable in that moment. And I guess, the people are find it very challenging to open up.
You mentioned the fish tank. How else can you make a visit to a dietitian more welcoming?
Well, I mean, funny enough, we had someone call up the other day to ask for a quirky dietitian, and I think there is a little bit of I have ADHD, so I'm a little bit quirky, but I'm purposely I try to be open and vulnerable in my sessions with my clients, and I guess try and break the ice immediately, I guess, in the first session, so that they know what they're going to expect to get, and also a little bit quirky, a little bit less clinical. I think more of a conversation.
That's wonderful. So, how do you measure the impact a dietitian has had on a patient's journey? Is it how successful that person has been in losing or gaining weight, or how do you measure that success?
I mean, there is obviously weight loss and weight gain as their success. There is also pathology, any changes in their cholesterol, diabetes, blood sugars, heart, blood pressure. But mostly I think it's, what their diet was like before versus what their diet is like in, a couple of months' time, being able to compare the two and going, look, this is where we started and this is where you are now. I also think measuring the person's relationship with food as well, like if there has been quite a negative relationship with food, we absolutely can measure like where they, how they feel about, restricting foods or, fear around foods and things like that. And then also, are they avoiding anything anymore, or are they sort of eating a balanced diet, basically?
In terms of the importance of diet and nutrition, what are some simple diet changes that can have big benefits?
Eat your veggies. That is actually not as simple as how I said it. I can't remember the exact number. It's something like 5% of the population in the last stats that we took were having enough vegetables. I think that's a pretty big one. If you're eating, if vegetables are, if you're looking at the AGHE, or it's the Australian Guidelines of Healthy Eating, our vegetables take up about 45% of our daily intake, and about 5% of the population are doing that. So it really does help with, I guess, if you're eating more vegetables, you may be eating less of the other things. Yeah.
Mental health is a massive part of society today. How does nutrition affect mental health, especially in young people in 2025?
So nutrition plays a really crucial role in mental health, such as early intervention, as well as, I guess, a treatment alongside other methods for depression, anxiety, things like that. I suppose if you look at like the impact of lack of sleep's impact on how that would affect a person's intake. You know, for example, if someone doesn't get a good solid hour, 8 hours of sleep or more, they're going to run out the door and not have breakfast. Then they're starting the day on an empty stomach. They're not going to be able to, pack their lunch and take some food with them for the day. So they may end up not eating until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's going to impact their ability to concentrate, emotionally regulate. Their energy levels will be not as, balanced throughout the day, so they may not be able to tolerate people's stuff. And if they're, got a lot of stressful jobs or in a uni doing courses and things like that, they might not be able to have the energy on board to be able to kind of stay focused with that. So it absolutely would affect their ability to do that. And then I guess in turn, if they're not, succeeding or being productive in their space, then they may feel like they are not good enough.
Are there any other particular challenges that Australians face with their diets?
I think food insecurity probably might be one. At this time of, at the moment, we've got like a lot of the cost of living is quite challenging at the moment, and the cost of food is quite high. So there's that, but there's also like the need to work a lot as well. So, being able to have the time to put together a meal or to shop or, organise things, plan things is quite hard. I think that is something that a lot of people are facing at the moment.
You're listening to Wellbeing. Today I'm speaking to founder and senior dietitian at Arubah Health, Beth Belford. Beth has had a wealth of experience across the field of nutrition and dietetics, including informed use of Cognitive Behaviour Therapy-Enhanced, Dialectical Behaviour Therapy, and family-based therapy for eating disorders. I'm keen to know, what role does culture play in our food choices, especially when Australia is a very multicultural country?
Absolutely. So I think culture significantly shapes food choices about like what people choose to eat, how they choose to eat, and why. In Australia, the access of different types of foods may be quite challenging. I grew up in and around, as a teenager, around a lot of the Zimbabwean community. And it was, this was a long time ago, mind you. Accessing some of that more cultural foods would mean that, a lot of people had to travel to Sydney. I know we've got a lot of stores around here now, but it's still, I think, is quite challenging to get that. I don't think that, every culture has their version of what proteins are and their version of what their baseline starches are and vegetables. And I think that, no matter what culture, we definitely can, choose how to serve that meal in a way that might be a healthy, proportional way. Absolutely.
How do you approach diets for people with very different lifestyles, such as sports people?
So sports people are, I think, the easiest to work with. I think they, they've got a plan, they've got stuff that they need to achieve, and I can be very prescriptive in my management of a sports person. They're going to get immediate positive outcomes in their chosen sport and their energy levels and their ability to recover. So I find that quite simple to do, but it is, knowing what a person's energy output is, and then I guess working around that with their choices and their likes and dislikes. So I actually find it quite a good and easy sort of way to work with. Yeah,
that's good. What's the most underrated part of a healthy diet you find?
Underrated? I think I'm going to go back to vegetables. I guess you have so many people out there cutting out whole food groups for no reason. For example, like carnivore diet or something like that. Eliminating a full food group or lots of food groups actually. And I suppose, vegetables is, I guess, the most underrated part. It's the hardest part because you've got, it's being inventive and being having a bit of fun with food.
So, Beth, do you think when social media is so big that it helps or harms young people's approach to a diet?
Oh, it definitely harms, absolutely. So you have people that, may go down a bit of a rabbit hole to something that might, I guess, spark an interest, and then it continues to show up on their feed. People are allowed to post whatever they want, I guess, and, if they've got quite a large following, or if it sort of resonates with somebody who is feeling rather vulnerable or wanting something to help them fix the particular situation that they're in, I definitely think it harms people more than is helpful. Yeah.
Why is nutrition so critical during adolescence?
So, growth and development is probably number one. Bone health as well. Like, I think a lot of people don't realise that. I mean, I find a lot of kids and adolescents these days are not achieving their nutritional requirements, and therefore, are 18, 19, and then a little bit older may end up getting things like osteoporosis or osteopenia. At schools and things like that, I've found, I don't know why this is a thing, but it's found that, people don't take a lot of food to school, or they do take food and it's only like very minimal amounts. So I think that, really provision of food and being able to give time for the kids and adolescents to eat their meals is such a massive importance. Well, that's not really answering your question, but
that's okay.
I think that they are just... it's very crucial to, I guess, the development of their relationship with food. By the time they're into adulthood, if they haven't really been practicing balanced eating or regular meals and adequate meals and things like that, then, we may not be able... Prevention, I suppose, of chronic illness may have already sort of been missed.
You talk very passionately about the relationship with food. How do you turn bad relationship with food to a good relationship? What are some tactics that you use often?
This is my favourite thing to do. Like this, I love behaviour change. So, I will meet somebody where they're at. So, I'm not going to come in and if someone always may come in and go, I want a meal plan. But, once you've had a look at their entire life, I guess, from social history to medical history to, what are they doing in and day out. I guess giving someone an action plan versus meeting them where they're at is really not the right thing to do. So I will try and, meet them where they're at and I guess give them some steps towards making some change. That is going to be able to work, I guess, in the immediate short term. And then that will then hopefully create that internal motivation to keep going and make bigger changes.
Are there any nutrition trends among young Australians that concern you?
Oh, yeah. So the ease and access of getting weight loss medications at the moment, I suppose. So for people who are seeking that type of treatment, they are able to get weight loss medications very readily. They have. I guess that is quite concerning, to be quite honest. I guess they're not seeing a dietitian. It's a way to be able to reduce their intake significantly, get a weight loss very, very quickly, but then their nutritional adequacy and their relationship with food actually worsens. Particularly that also that people are not really being screened for eating disorders when they are being provided such medication at times, and if they can get it on the internet, which you can easily see doctors that way, they're not being screened for eating disorders. So that's my main concern at the moment. Yeah.
I suppose my last question to you today, Beth, would be if every listener could take one action to improve their well-being through diet, what would it be?
Stop taking diet advice off social media or the woman next door or someone selling you the next book, and please see a dietitian.
It's simple, but it's powerful. Well, thank you, Beth, for joining me today. That was really insightful about dietitians and the impact they have on their community's well-being. I've been speaking to the founder and senior dietitian at Arubah Health, Beth Belford. Beth has a wealth of experience across the field of nutrition and dietetics, including informed use of Cognitive Behaviour Therapy-Enhanced, Dialectical Behaviour Therapy, and family-based therapy for eating disorders. I'm Oliver Croft, thank you for listening, and all of us here at Wellbeing wish you well.